It's time again to do another full face. This time a full face of MAC. I have done this in the past, but this is the updated version. We even have like tools and like accessory type things. I do have a couple different MAC brushes. I have the MAC Turquoise perfume, and we even have lashes. So let's get into it. Now, if you have not tried Turquoise, if you like light blue, I think you'll enjoy this one because it's also a fresh scent, but it's so good. Now, I will have to pull in different things here and there. Like, I don't have all MAC tools. And then mascara, I currently do not have one by MAC. And then I don't have a brow gel either. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the face. I am going to start with Fix Plus. This is just the original one. I like to go in with Fix Plus before I do my makeup, and then during my makeup steps, and after, because I'm crazy like that. So we're doing a little bit of Fix Plus. I am pushing it into the skin because we are also going in with the MAC Strobe Cream and Pink Light. Now this will definitely give you a glowy base. If that is something you are into, I would recommend this. My brow pencil here has been through it. This is their eyebrow styler in the shade Spiked. Somehow I'm missing both caps. I'm missing the cap on the spoolie. That came off first. Didn't really care too much because it's just a spoolie. Then somehow I lost the cap to the actual brow product itself. Not sure how I did that. So we're just going to go in with this. I want to say I actually used this exact pencil the first time I did a full face of MAC. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did. Also, this is my second video using my Amazon lights. If you have not seen my Amazon haul, definitely go check that out. But I got some lights from Amazon, and this is my second time using them. When I was doing the Amazon haul, that was the first time I used them, and it was a little shadowy. Hopefully this time is better. As I'm looking at the screen, it doesn't look shadowy. Now when I edit, it might. We'll find out. But I literally rearranged this whole room just so I could move the lights closer to me. So hopefully that helped. Definitely let me know in the comments if it looks better on this video than it did in my Amazon haul. Also, I'm really hoping that this helps the quality of my videos, just so you guys can actually see me, because I do like to use natural lighting, but it's been crazy here, like the weather, so a lot of times it's not as sunny as it needs to be, and with daylight savings, it gets dark early, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Let's go ahead and move into our next step. I am just going to use a random brow gel real quick, just so everything is nice and set before we move on to foundation. Now for foundation, I got both of these from TJ Maxx, and neither one matches me, so we have to mix them together. So of course I have the original Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. I have NW10, which is too light for me if you cannot tell. I have such a hard time shade matching. I really thought in store this was going to be my shade. This is the Studio Fix Everywhere All Over Face Pen and NW30. So I mixed these and it turns into a decent shade. So maybe I should try NW20. But I am just going to take a pump of this on the back of my hand. And then we're going to do a pump of the darker foundation here. And then if I need more, I can always mix more. It's not a big deal. Like, yeah, this is definitely a lot better now. And mixing these together, it is still really nice coverage, but it doesn't look super heavy and cakey either. And I really think the strobe cream underneath gives it a nice finish as well. I actually don't think I'm gonna need any more product than this, because I still have some on the back of my hand as well. It might be a smidge light, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and move into concealer. I do also have a couple options here. So I have this palette. This is their Studio Fix Conceal and Correct palette in the shade Light. I do really enjoy this. And then you have the color correctors down here. And then this is newer to me, but I have really been enjoying this. This is their Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer in the shade NC11. So this is a lighter, brightening kind of a shade for me, which is what I look for in a concealer. And then the palette has NC15, W10, NC20, NW20, Pale Yellow, and Pale Pink. So that is the colors you get in here. Let's go ahead and mix and match. I need to find one that is close to my skin tone and try to cover that up. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna mix a little bit of this one and a little bit of this one together. And then I'm just gonna press that into the skin, use my finger. Yeah, that is perfect. I am gonna use a mixture of some of these. I really do like use my finger with this palette. Use the warmth of our fingers and really just press in and cover any little blemishes or redness around the nose, stuff like that. Then I also want to take a little bit of this yellow at first underneath the eyes, because as you can see, I did not really sleep well last night. For some reason, our apartments, the heat has been out for probably like a week now, and they gave us a little space heater, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. So it's been kind of cold in here, and it's been a little harder to sleep. So there's that. Now for under the eyes, I do want to take the liquid concealer. I just wanted to add a little bit of brightness in this area. Now, like I said, I'm going to take the Studio Radiance now, and this is going underneath the eyes since we just kind of concealed all over the rest of the face. And then I do use concealer as my eyeshadow primer, so of course we're going to do that. And then I am going to add a little bit of highlighting around the face. And then I'm not picking up any more product, I'm just smoothing all this out. And then I'm going to use my sponge for this one. I just love how this concealer looks, and it wears really nicely too. Like, I wasn't sure if it would or not because I have oily skin. This looks beautiful. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any cream bronzer, powder bronzer, anything. I actually don't think I take that back. I did have the Aaliyah bronzer back when they had that collection. That was forever ago, but that's the only bronzer I ever had from them. Let's go in with my all-time favorite blush. This is my favorite blush, no matter the brand. This is it for me. This is their Glow Play blush in Blush Please. It is just a perfect neutral but rosy color. And then I am going to use the 128S, which has two different sides. I like using this side more when it comes to cream products. But do you see that color? Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. And then I do like to wrap my blush around my brow a little bit, especially since we don't have any bronzer on. This blush is just going to help warm up the complexion a little bit and make us look a little less dead. And then I always take blush on the tip of my nose. I am just kind of layering the blush up a little bit, because once we use powder, it's not going to be as intense. I'm going to take whatever is left over on the brush, hit the chin, go back to the nose, and then go back around the brow a little bit. Again, since we don't have bronzer, this is the only color on our face. It's very sad. This is the original Studio Fix pressed powder. I have NW13. This also came from TJ Maxx, so is it the best color for me? Absolutely not. But I refuse to part with this because they reformulated, and I heard it is terrible compared to the original. So I'm gonna trust my MAC girlies out there on that one. I am going to go ahead, pat in all the creases because we don't want to set those. And then I am just gonna take like a light taper brush here to set with. I have not used a brush to set in so long. I normally use a puff, but since this does have some coverage to it, I don't want to use a puff because then it can be a little too light and ghostly on me. So we're going to use a brush and just do a very light layer just to set everything down. I am going to be so sad when I run out of this because I do not have one on backup, and I have not seen this shade or a shade remotely close to my skin tone at TJ Maxx since I purchased this one. So yeah, I'm going to be very, very sad when this is gone. It's so pretty, and then doing a light layer like this, it's still just, it looks so good. There should be a little bit of blush left on your brush. I like to go back in after I powder and just push that into the skin. Now let's go ahead and move on. I do have highlighter. This is the Double Gleam Extra Dimension Skin Finish. This is old. This one I did use in my original video, and before that I even had this for a couple years. This is one of their New Year's editions with the koi fish on it. Like, you can still see my koi fish in there because I try to go for more of the middle. It's so beautiful. Now luckily this shade is in the permanent lineup. It's just the koi fish was the specialty part of this, but the shade itself is in the permanent lineup because look at how gorgeous that glow is. It's just a nice lit from within kind of a glow. It doesn't look glittery and fake. It just looks like you have a healthy glow to your skin. Like you get sleep and you moisturize and you take care of yourself. That's what this gives. Now is the time I'm going to go ahead and go in with Fix Plus again. Now if I wanted this to last all day, I would have after the foundation and concealer as well, but it's fine. I'm not going anywhere. I just love Fix Plus. It is one of those products I have to have in my collection at all times. I don't care what anyone says. It is very, very necessary for me. And I want to say they also changed the packaging on this. I have not picked up the new packaging because I have so many bottles of the old style here, but it's fine. Do you see how my skin still just looks like skin? That is what I love about MAC products. Like, even though I am already wearing a full face of makeup, it still looks like skin. Now I am going to go ahead and jump in with the Prep and Prime lip primer here. I don't use this nearly enough, that's for sure, but I do want to give this time to sink in before going in with our lip combo. Then of course it's me. I had several different MAC eyeliners. I have a brown and then I have two other blacks besides this one, but we're going in with the iCoal in Feline, just a classic traditional sharpenable black pencil here. I think my one goal in life is to go to a MAC counter. Now the closest one to me is like, I'm just like an hour away, and I obviously don't want to go by myself to said MAC counter, and I don't really want to drag my husband either because that's mean. I would really like to take one of my girlfriends or something and go up there, actually get color matched for my foundation and concealer. Like, yeah, mixing them, I can get a decent match, but it'd be nice to just have like one bottle of foundation and be done, and that just be my perfect shade. Now let's move into eyeshadow. I used to have so many MAC eyeshadows. I even made a full custom palette from the singles and stuff, popped them into the palette. It had a beautiful array of colors. I had bright blue, I had yellow, I had orange, I had browns, I had glittery shades. I had a little bit of everything. Somehow, some way, this is the only MAC eyeshadow I have left, which is weird because I love a MAC eyeshadow. Like, I even had the Aaliyah eyeshadow palette, Aladdin palette. I actually still have both Stranger Things palettes, but those are my archives because they are a little older and I don't want to use them up. Like, I feel bad saying that, but I don't want to use them up. So right now, this is the only one I have. I actually got this at TJ Maxx as well. I find a lot of MAC at TJ Maxx and I live for it. This is I Like to Watch. And it is a Dazzle shadow. This little guy is so shimmery and pretty. Normally, I would not wear this by itself all over. I would put some brown in the crease and do a whole look. But this is the only shade we have. So we're gonna go ahead, pull out my Stranger Things brush. This is actually a 217. If you know, you know. So we're gonna take this and I'm just going to pat this all over the lid. I did put a little bit of that highlighter on the brow bone and in the inner corner here. So we have that down at least. And then I am gonna take the edge of the brush and just blend it a little bit into the crease. That's actually really pretty just as is. But I could not get rid of the shade, like, ever. Even though I am not a big fan of single eyeshadows, that's why I would always try to build my own palette and stuff. Because this is just like a waste of packaging for me. Not only that, I never reach for singles. Because I like to do more than one shade on my eyes, typically. And if I am doing a one and done kind of a look, I typically go for like a stick or a liquid, nothing powder, typically. But maybe I will with this. I'm just gonna take whatever's left on the brush and just run it a little bit underneath the eye. Just add a little pizzazz, you know? Plus, the brush is kind of smoking out that liner a little bit at the same time. I am going to use a little bit of the pencil liner on the upper lash line just so it blends the lashes a little bit better. Since we do have MAC lashes, I did have another style and I used them so much that I had to get rid of them. They were just kind of gross at that point. I actually don't remember what style that was. The ones we are using today are in the style 48 Show Off Lash. Now, I know a lot of people don't really like MAC lashes because they do have like some brown in them as well. I kind of like that because it adds more dimension to the lash itself. Also, from TJ Maxx. If you cannot tell, I love going to TJ Maxx and finding MAC. And then I am doing a little wing with this. I literally just took the edge of my nail and winged it up a little bit. And that's all we're going to do for liner. I went ahead and curled my lashes. I'm just going to throw on this random mascara real quick. Now, I do really enjoy the MAC Stack mascara. I haven't actually tried any other MAC mascaras. I feel like I need to. And then I really need to work on getting bronzer, some powder blushes. Like, I have 3 different Glow Plays, and then I even have their new liquid blushes. I have 2 of those, but I have no powder at the moment. I used to have a couple powder blushes. But, you know, moving and stuff, things happen. Alright, lashes are getting tacky. I'm letting this mascara dry a little bit. You can see my lips are a little bit tacky. That means it is time to go in. I think my favorite lip pencil from MAC is Whirl. I've used this one so much. So we are going to use this to start with. I actually used this shade on my wedding day. And I am building a lip combo, so there's a lot of steps. Alright, so we're just throwing this one on, overlining a little bit in the center of the lips, and then I'm going to take the butt of the liner and we're going to blend this into the lip. Then I'm going to go in with the lip pencil and stone, and we're going to add a little bit of definition, and we're using this on those spots that we really overline the lips. So right in the center of the bottom and right in the center of the top. And that's going to add like a contour type of feel to it, so it makes your lips look even poutier. And then I am going back in with a little bit of Whirl, touching up where I need to, and then I'm going to take the butt of Whirl, since we already have some product on it, and blend in stone a little bit. Not as much as we did with Whirl, but just a little bit to soften the edges. I think these lashes are ready, so I'm going to put on the lashes and then I'll be back for the rest. These lashes are very, very pretty. I definitely wish I knew what the other style was that I always used, because I like these, but I definitely liked the other ones better. I just do not remember for the life of me what style they were, but we have MAC lashes on. Let's go ahead, jump in with the lippy. I was swatching different lipsticks against my blush last night, and I came up with Honey Love, which is a matte shade. So we're gonna try this on with this lip liner combo. And I'm just starting in the middle with this. I don't want to cover up the lip liner too much because that's what's giving us the dimension. So I want most of the pigment to be in the center of the lip and then fade out into the lip liner. I actually really like this with that blush. Now, if you know me, this is normally where I would stop. I am happy with this lip combo, but for some reason, I felt like it was necessary to pull out the original lip gloss. This is just the clear one. And we're just gonna add a little bit of shine to it. Not too much, just a little shine. And here is the updated full face of MAC. I am obviously a MAC girly. I had so many lipsticks, lip liners. I even have a bunch of the Squirt lip plumping gloss sticks. I love MAC. I am such a MAC girly through and through. We're also just going to ignore the bangs situation, but I love MAC, so this was such a fun video for me to do, and I'm so glad I could do an updated version of it, because it's been a while. And honestly, after doing this, I kind of want to go back and watch the old video and see what all I used back then, because I know I definitely did not get a look like this. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and watching this video. I have done a bunch of different full face videos, so definitely check out the playlist. And if you like any kind of makeup content, you like full face videos, I do a bunch over here, so definitely like and subscribe before you leave. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.